Do a PSA I saw once.
We got up super early this morning.
Super early! 5 a.m.
Because the goal was to be out of camp around first light so we can get a couple of nice hours of hiking in the morning before the heat and the crowds show up.
Okay, and we are getting moving here right around first light as planned. We had a nice quiet night here on the far side of the river from the campground. While there was still our backcountry campground. It's not like there's like full on everything. It's hiking only. We came over here because of the amount of noise, trash, and uncovered toilet paper in the campground itself. I found kind of objectionable. And we had a much nicer night here. We did find one uncovered cat hole because, yeah, people suck. So now our trick is going to be picking our way back through the campground and trying not to freak out anybody. So this morning we are dropping down by the Hetch Hetchy reservoir, which again is down at 3,000 some feet. So we're trying to get through that section before it gets too warm. Also, while we had planned to spend another night out here and camp a few miles short of the car, due to the overheating issues we were dealing with, we decided we're going to either drive out tonight or pre-dawn tomorrow morning. So our goal is to get all the way out to the cars kind of as early as we can and then see how we feel. Which is kind of a bummer because I'd rather be wandering around in the wilderness with Blondie. But somebody has to go back to civilization because she's got like a jorb or something like that. I'm not sure. No saying the J word. Yeah, unfortunately Blondie's summer is over, but fortunately Blondie really likes her job and has already been getting excited about dealing with all those teenagers. Unlike most of us who go, ugh, teenagers. So this is her last hurrah for the summer, though she has some weekend trips coming up. We will be starting out the Big Secchi Loop together. I will see her in the middle of the Big Secchi Loop, hopefully. And in between that, she's going to be down in the west side near Lodgepole. And I am going to, at the same time, go in for a bit of a longer trip on the east side, not far from here, actually. Back when we were both gainfully employed, we spent many weekends driving, 6 to 8 hours to get up to the Sierra most Fridays and then coming back late Sunday. So it is still such a massive luxury to kind of be able to do more reasonable drives, drive up during the day, get a reasonable amount of sleep. I often avoid camping near water sources just because it tends to be more crowds, contention, trash campsites, things like that. It is on occasions like this very nice to be able to clean up at night, especially when we've been sweating our butts off for 5-6 days by now. So this is the Hetch Hetchy Reservoir I've been talking about for the entirety of this. Major landmark in the area that I have not done much near just because of the distance required. My understanding is it was actually a really cool valley, like beautiful, prior to them flooding it, and it is now a reservoir that is used to keep San Francisco and the coastal cities in water. And this isn't even the waterfall she was looking forward to.
Bonus waterfall!
Yay! What is our waterfall per hour for today? I really would not mind being back here in a big rainstorm. It would be waterfall central for Miss Blondie here. I'm guessing the fire is somewhere south of us, considering that seems to be where the majority of the smoke is coming. Civilization is that way-ish. My hope for next year is to introduce Blondie to a new concept, which is called bathing. Because somebody has been in lakes and things and smells quite lovely. And I woke up in the tent and I'm like, Blondie, There's like a homeless guy here that hasn't bathed in a while. It smells really, really bad.
Hey,
Oh no!
I like your natural smell.
She has very little sense of smell. Like I go, there's something dead under the house, and she's like, no, there's not. La, 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 la. Sun isn't even up, and it's already bloody warm down here. I'm glad we got out early. There is car access back here. It is actually at the far end of the reservoir. There is a backpackers camp and a trailhead, and we think that's where all the folks at that campground probably came from. I found reference to some loop around Hetch Hetchy, which is actually surprisingly big because they don't have like a rim trail or anything around this reservoir. So Blondie's waterfalls are coming up somewhere here. We're hoping to use one of them for a morning water fill up, because once we climb out the far side of the reservoir, we think we're going to be dry. Gotta come out here when the snow's melting. Hopefully we can access some of the water here. No, I'm not impressed by the waterfall. I'm impressed by the trail maintenance. So that is the waterfall we were expecting, because that is actually the same water we camped next to 2 days ago in Falls Canyon. Eventually comes out here. So because once we leave the reservoir, we're in a burn area. There used to be a ranger cabin back there. It all burned down. There is nothing, and I suspect it might be dry. So we needed to fill up here before we went. And I figured this would probably still be flowing, and sure enough. Think how hard that crew we were talking to yesterday was working, and then picture how much work this would have been. So that is the easy way back to civilization. We're gonna climb up here and have some more fun over to where an old ranger station burned down years ago. So we talked to one of the groups that was at the campsite last night, and they confirmed that, yeah, they came in from here. So that campground is only 6.5 miles in for most folks. For us, it was 80 something. And let's see how this is gonna go. Last big climb, Blondie, maybe? Yeah. We were just commenting on the fact that this was paved asphalt at some point. I was telling Jen I had seen that done in a lot of places, and it seems to always have broken up after not so long. So it is 9 o'clock, and unfortunately our cool period of the day seems to be leaving us rather rapidly. Yeah, you can see the smoke stratification. Also, if you see the rocks reflecting in the very background, that should be around where our campsite was. So unfortunately, you can see the burned trees. They had a fire that came through here a number of years ago, and that's why Miguel Meadow no longer has a ranger station. Per what we were told by a trail crew a couple of days ago, they have at least partially logged this area. So it might be overgrown, but hopefully not too many down logs. It is the freaking gnats that are driving us nuts here. So, okay, Lake Eleanor is our big goal. We can get water, wash up there, and then it's just another mile or two over to Cherry where we parked. So there was a sawed log back there, so there has been a saw crew through here in the reasonable recent past. Ooh, raspberry thorns, fun. Yeah. So this is Eleanor Lake. It is only a few miles from where we started. Basically, Cherry Lake and our Kibbe trailhead is at the top of that saddle there. We'd originally thought that we would spend the last night here, you know, figuring that would make us close to the cars so we'd get our full time and could drive home tomorrow early. We changed that just because of the overheating issue with the Jeep. We figured at the very least we want to be at the Jeep so we can leave early, not hike an hour or two and then leave. And honestly, with how busy Rancheria was last night, I can only imagine how many people are probably over there right now. Oh, that feels a bit better. Oh, what if I get that brain amoeba?
You can't get it in this water, it's not warm enough.
No! That kid that died the other year, she got it like swimming in the river.
Aww.
That was a very nice beach and we just killed a very pleasant hour. And now we're back to walking in the heat. This makes me think this area was a lot prettier before the fire, because it would have had this big tree canopy. Flags up. Maybe they actually have somebody at the ranger station. Sadly, pants back on. What? Wonder if they ever found him. Fresh water, you can dangle your feet in, very cold water. Oh, I'm jealous of the storm clouds. And we found one of Blondie's true passions, having marginal blackberries straight off of the vine.
They're not marginal, they're amazing.
You always say that. And sadly, the last mile or so back to the cars of the last trip Blondie and I get to do, unencumbered by her summer. Don't worry, Blondie. Maybe summer won't be over. if I forgot my 10 essential bag back at camp this morning, summer ain't ending yet. Aha, Blondie, I see the vehicle. We actually survived, which is good because it's Blondie's birthday, and with her advanced age, I was like, oh, don't know if she's gonna make it. Looks really good for 53 though. Look at that. Doesn't look a day over 52, really.
Matt totally kicked butt for someone recovering from horrible illness and 9 stab wounds.
After a very, very long, awkward drive due to the heat issues in the Jeep, we finally made it home a little after 4 a.m. So fun times. We have to get the Jeep fixed, and then hopefully I will be going back out in a couple of days.